Hopefully get a quick score update for you. Looks like they don't load in quickly. Q up 1-0 at the moment, but for now, we are into the first quarterfinal, and it's going to be starting here with the classiest Zerg ever to have graced our wonderful esport. In the blue, representing a freak of freaks, give it up, the South Korean Armani.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran, representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. It is time.
All right, so our second TVZ of the night, and I feel like it's going to be a different one than the one we saw from Go Joey versus Ryung. Unless, Armani decides to be a bit cheeky, goes for a 2-base Nidus play, but, I feel like we're going to get more standard macro play in this series. But from time, I feel like, we may see that mass Widowmine style coming through again. Maybe may see some Widowmine drops as well. But hopefully, we get some nice good games, some huge Bane busts maybe, or maybe some huge seed jumps as well. Or maybe, as we saw in our first game, a block off with the mules to catch off two Ravagers.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was amazing. I'm not saying that was a bad play. It was an amazing play.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be like the highlight of that series, of maybe even the night. And yeah, as you were saying, we don't expect a series similar to that of Go Joey here. Armani, he is more of a macro player. I honestly expect this game to go quite a bit longer, and that's why I'm so excited. A very different kind of Zerg player here. Of course, it isn't outside of the realm of possibility that he goes for some kind of big all-in or some kind of big push. But yeah, we'll see what happens here on a Death Aura, as so far the openers have been pretty standard.
Yeah, looking like the 1-1 build coming in from time. Armani just going for the quick 3 expands, Ling speed, getting his economy up and rolling. So for now, just a very quiet openings, it seems to be.
Yeah.
Nope, instead it's the quick 3 CCs.
Yeah, we've seen this before. Again, an economic opener coming out from time. Last time it was Ryung who whiffed this out, and yeah, so time is delaying his starport production to make this happen, being a little bit more passive.
Well, we'll see, whether, Armani does see this and potentially does anything to counter his own third up and running here towards the low ground, not going for the traditional, stretch across in a single line, but Reaper's still alive as well, so I feel like Armani, once that Reaper is dead at least, we should see some tech going down, but for now it's just more Queens. Ling speed just finishing 4 drones for our blue Zerg, as the Reaper Hellion Harass should be starting.
Ooh, and pretty interesting here, as the Overlord does make it all the way in, and of course Armani does see that it isn't even a starport after this, it is a 3 racks.
The 1-1-2-1. I feel like you need a star. I mean, he's getting stim. You're gonna need a starport pretty soon.
Yeah, regardless.
Unless it's just one of those games where one of those barracks was supposed to be the starport.
I wouldn't say that time would make a mistake like that. Like, there it is. The starport is on the way. Yeah, and typically, he's going to be working up his army, and then when finally some medevacs come out, that's his initial 2, that's when the push comes from time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he is getting the reactor onto that factory there, so maybe just getting into those Widow Mines, for the Ling, possibly Ling Bane on the way, +1 melee, +1 carapace for Armani. No Baneling Nest just as yet, just starting his lair as Sim just finishing now. 1-1 started as well for time.
Okay, so we'll see.
I feel like timing push.
Yeah, so we'll see if Armani, if he is going to be punished for this greed or if he has it lined up. Because as we see, like the factory, like the reactor was just for the switch. Like as soon as these two medevacs come out, then time is going to be pushing. And because Armani prioritizes upgrades, that does mean that his Baneling speed is going to be a little bit delayed as his lair was delayed. So we'll see if he has enough here to hold regardless.
Yeah. Baneling Nest just finishing now. Should be getting Ling's Bane speed as soon as he can. Just possibly waiting for a couple of minerals. There we go. Getting the macro hatch as well. So going to be pumping out lava for days. And it's just going to be the drop style here from time. Just trying to see what he can find. Possibly get some drops in. But already Armani getting those Lings into position. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, the queens are here, slowly spreading creep. We'll see if time can get some damage done, maybe even sneak into the main base.
Well, maybe the Lings and Banelings into position here. For time, might go for a bit of some multi-pronged harass, but there's a spore in there, so he can't exactly boost in and try and drop into the main. But instead, he's just going to regather his army and try for a push, possibly onto this third base. Going to be going straight for the Queens. No transfuses onto the Queens. Banelings, although slow, do manage to get a couple of connects. And now the rest of the army does gather. Ling speed almost finishing. Should be about 20 seconds. Nope. The timer reminds me it is 10 seconds left. There's one Widow Mine with this army light. If he can get a good connection here.
Yeah, that's
not.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big if, as we do see a massive drop gonna be going into the main base.
Yeah, but there's no room to drop here. Instead, it is just going to be time unfortunately, just having to redrop onto this potential 5th location, onto the high ground, seeing what he can find. And actually, Armani can pick off a medevac as the Ling Bane does stream in. Bane speed is finished. One medevac did go down. And the one Marine left as a sacrifice will manage to get out here.
He does manage to escape, but honestly, this is terrifying for Time. Time, he hasn't been able to do anything with these drops, and as a result, Armani, he's on 4 bases, he's on 88 drones. He droned up heavily this game. He was being incredibly greedy. 2-2 was about to finish up, and now he's gonna have these mutas out to take care of these drops.
Yeah, the mutas are there. Boost on in actually onto the 4th location. There is a Widow Mine. 2 Widow Mines actually with this army, and actually if we could get a good connect, but there is already detection there, so looks like nice cancel of that 5th there, but should be easily reclaimed.
Yeah, and now this is when we see the Zerg really ramp up because he's done droning up. He's got his 5th on the way, 6th even, double expanding. We've got Infestation Pit finishing up. We should see the Hive starting quite soon. And now Armani's going to be making nothing but units, and we're going to see him, start to be the aggressor here. He's been defending this entire time, but now finally he has at least even these mutas to go out across the map.
Yeah, try and go for some harass. There are a couple of 4s coming out here. Does manage to pick up one SCV that was unfortunately trapped by the wall. But I feel like there shouldn't be too much harass done with these mutas. Time he is on top of his production. Was getting the 4s as well as getting the Drilling Claws upgrade for those Widow Mines. And you see from Ryung against Gogo Joe earlier, the mass Widow Mine defense is in play as Time is actually going to be pushing out, trying to possibly go onto the 6. Oh my god,
that's a lot. That's a lot of Banelings.
That's a lot of Banelings, tasteless, and going straight into a planetary as well. He has got 2-2 with his army. All right, the splits by the Marines, the Banelings streaming on forward, but there's no real connects here. The mutas trying to go straight onto that bio, but the spawn is there. And it looks like for now, Time will be, well, losing his 4th. And a couple more SCVs, 13 SCVs. I can't count for whatever reason, as Armani going straight onto this army here. Baneling's trying to stream all on forward. Mutas should be cleaning up the medevacs here and the rest of the army. More Baneling streaming in, as well as more Bio Marauders and Widow Mines trying to protect that flank from any rear attacks by Banelings. But it looks like for now, Time should claim his prize of this 5th base.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is that a prize? Like, Armani doesn't even care about that 5th base. He goes for a counterattack. He already killed the 4th, and now, like, we do see that Time is forced back home.
Ooh, the mutas! Ooh. Well, there's no mutas, but Armani is already going on the counterattack here. Gang. Oh!
Oh my god, the borrow being used there as well, forcing another missile shot to be made. And meanwhile, we do have a couple of Lings trying to break into this 3rd base location. And as all that was happening, Time didn't even get that 5th.
Oh my god. Oh, I guess you could say he ran out of patience with that. Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing the patience signs back. Patient jokes back, even though he's not here.
But you're gonna say he ran out of time.
Didn't really work in that context. But for now, Time, he feels like this timing attack right now with this whole bunch of mass marine. Oh, that's right, I can make puns too.
I apologize to everyone.
You may call me Steel Mold. But yeah, this 5/6 gonna be going down finally. Could be using Burrow to save his 2 drones that were mining from that base.
So close, as we do have 2 borrowed Banelings there towards the back. If Armani, if Time backs up, they can just run into them.
Yeah, I mean, I miss the days of borrowed Lings, like... Oh! Okay, it was only 1 Ling. I got too excited over nothing. It's just like junior high all over again. But this massive attack of counterattack of Ling's going to be going up, picking up the reinforcing Marines here. Maybe going into that natural main Time. He's forced to pull back as Ling's trying to pick off the Widow Mines from going off, but Drilling Claws is there. Even getting friendly fires onto the Marines as well. It's going to be scanning just in case of Burrow. But looks like Armani is not going to be utilizing that.
Oh, no, he is not. But you know, the entire time he was keeping a Time at home, giving Armani the opportunity to tech up and get out his Ultras. 3/3s on the way as well. Time, he has this window of opportunity where, maybe he can push before there are too many Ultras out.
I mean, is there anything as such as too many Ultras, like?
No.
That's what I thought. But, you know, Armani here splitting this, like, force from going in and doing some meaningful damage. And that is a stream of Banelings if I ever saw one, like, as they all just crash in. The splits are there. Just 1 Ultra here to try and do as much damage as he can. Banelings coming in, and they may have just found themselves a big, juicy Bioforce, but nice pullback from Time. Does manage to save the majority of his force. And, oh, wow. Armani even delaying this 5th from going down here. Even going to be destroying here, as now the Queen's getting involved here. The Ultra's trying to get on forward, but they're blocked by the Queens. It's just the Queen defenselings coming in from the back, trying to do what they can find. And now here comes the Banelings rolling on in. Time, he's trying to step his way back, but he cannot win this fight. Time, he's trying to get that 5th light, but he just can't.
Exactly. I think that's the 2nd CC as well, because there were 2 that were flying over, and both of them did go down to the mutas. Meanwhile, we do have this massive counterattack. Armani was able to defend.
Dropping onto the Banes there. 4s are there to try and protect Widow Mines as well. The Marauders trying to use the concussive shell as best as they can. But they do, Time does manage to push Armani back.
Yeah, just barely. Meanwhile, Armani even being annoying here. Oh god, with that borrowed Ling.
I mean, to be honest, this is the only time you use Burrow, unless it's Burrow Roches in the modern meta. Is to, delay those CCs, the Nexus, from going up. And yeah, it is annoying because, a Terran has to expend a scan, has to set up those missile targets first, keep his economy down. And we're starting to see that because look at the Bank of the Money. Both players actually maxed out right now, but Time, he only has about 450 minerals. Now 500 in the bank, has heaps of gas for that. The Winter Mine not going to be enough. As this fist once again going to be cancelled as Armani is pushing in to this third, but he is going to be pushed back once again.
Yeah, thankfully the SimCity is good enough there for Time to be able to engage with those ultras. He even has enough here to just barely keep his 5th base alive. So Armani, he wasn't able to break his opponents, but again, like, he's free to continue to expand, get more and more ultras to bolster this army.
Well, Time, he feels like now it's his moment as he goes through. I'm trying to stop myself, I swear to God, but now the army comes in. Baneling's running on forward. The Muta's going forward as well. There are Corruptors with this army as well. But Time, he has enough fire. He's starting to push it back. He is down the supply, down about 25 supply right now. But he's kiting back with these Marauders, kiting back with the Force as well. The Ultras go down. It's just the Corruptors. There's no ground force except for these Queens, like.
Exactly. Armani, he messed up. He made too many Corruptors. There's so much dead supply there when he needs to focus on that ground army. There are no Banelings left.
Well, in comes the Lings surrounding onto that foe. It's just the Burrow. It's mainly Marauders. They're trying to snipe down this Ultra, and they will. They can't pick up. There's no Medivacs. But can he force the Widow Range shot? Takes about half that force down. Planetary Fortress not done yet. Still going on. The Caustic Spray going on to that Planetary. Where are the repairs? Like, there's none at all. These fours, the Corruptors soaking up the Widowmine shots right now. I'm running out of breath, but Armani is not letting up that pressure. Time, he's not conceding. And now Time, he has got 6 bases up.
Exactly. He defends not just his 5th, but his 6th base here on the high ground as well. Somehow, some way, he's been able to do so, and he just keeps pushing on forward. And again, we're the Banelings for Armani. He's desperately trying to morph in as many as he can, but he doesn't have any here ready to defend.
Yeah, but there's no Medivacs as well for this army of Time. Look how low some of those Marauders are going straight into those Ultras. The cleave power. Oh my God, that was a massive Baneling connect right there. And now it's just Banelings rolling on through. The Marauder's still alive. Time GG's, and Armani allows me to breathe.
GG, well played. Armani takes game number 1 with his incredibly greedy style, eventually getting into those ultras. Arguably too many Corruptors towards the end, and maybe even too many Queens, because there was that moment where both armies were maxed out. But again, like, there was a lot of that supply in those Queens and in those Corruptors, so it gave Time an opportunity to really fight back, take it to Armani. That was so close towards the end.
I felt like, that Time should, put those, the fours into the anti-air mode, the single target fire mode, and just being able to just shoot down those Corruptors, and maybe he could have saved some Medivacs, but because that was the problem. Once those Corruptors were able to get in and take out all the Medivacs, there was no way that really that Bio army for Time could keep on stimming, keep up that DPS that they had to alive.
Yeah. Time, he was barely keeping up, and GG, well played. Armani takes the lead in this series. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, so Armani just needs 1 more. Meanwhile, Time is on match point. 1 more loss, and he's out of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I would have given, Time the favoring in this, matchup, but, after seeing that game, I feel like it is very, very even in terms of, like, who can come out on top, especially after those last 5 minutes where we just saw pretty much both armies just headbutting each other. But speaking of headbutts, we are on to Pillars of Gold, LE, which no longer hold up the Golden Wall. And we do have here spawning in the top right, the Blue Zerg. Are you free? Because he is representing the Afrika Freaks TV. And he is also from South Korea. He is known as the Stylish Zerg, for his name is Armani.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran, representing KZ Gaming, KZG. It is time.
I don't know why, but for some reason I tried to throw up like hand signs for KCG as you were saying that. And then I spent the rest of your intro just going, how the hell do I make a K with my fingers?
I was about to say, when you said that, you put up your hands and you're like, wait a second. what have I done? How do I make these letters?
I mean, you can make a Z pretty easy. G, that can also be pretty easy as well.
K,
but it's the K. The K. I mean, it really depends on like what angle you look at the fingers through.
Oh god. All right, time. I honestly, like, based off of the previous game, they both played well, but I would like time to be a little bit more aggressive. If you recall, Armani got up to 4 bases, almost 90 drones, pretty like unhindered, you know, like he was able to defend quite easily and get to that point, and that's when he started to get out of control.
Yeah, it exactly wasn't not to the fault of time as well. He was going for those, those fire drops with the Widow Mines, but Armani was just so well defended. He had so many Lings, so many Banes by the time those drops got to their locations. He also had the Mutas as well going towards that 4th base. But once Armani was able to just get into that position with the macro hatch as well, he had so much lava for that army. Yeah,
exactly. So we'll see how Time is able to do here. So far, he is going for the same opener as he did in the previous game. So he's dancing with his opponents, getting his 3rd CC behind this.
Well, like, I just checked. Why isn't there another Spanish challenge?
Exclamation mark Funada 16 squad Senseki Kuro in the chat if you want to get another Spanish intro set up there. God damn it, she may be asleep. But yeah, we had a Spanish intro a couple of days ago. I think during Copa Hyperion. Needs to be reset.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was either hoping that we got to like 99, that some lag happening for time here, but yeah, let's take a quick look around the map. So yeah, quick third here. It is only the 3.5 minute mark, so Armani going for that quick third. 3cc happening before the Sapo, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That was thrown down.
Game resumed.
Yeah, cool.
That it was.
But yeah, so pretty standard openings from both players again. Now we have to see whether Armani wants to be greedy again.
Yeah, to be fair, we do see that unlike the previous game, if you recall, Armani went for a much later starport. This time, at a more standard time, it does get scouted.
Yeah, but it does get scouted. Note that there is no upgrade, so he might be thinking there's a fusion core somewhere, and it's going to, mistake this for a BC rush. And to be fair, BC rush, not the worst thing. Is slightly a bit better because of those nerfed range of the queens. But once it is scouted, it is hard to pull up any decent damage because the queens will just get pumped out. But instead, he is just going for that Banshee, which is more maneuverable than a BC. Also requires a different spore setup than a BC.
Yeah. I mean, the BC openers were a lot more common, very commonplace towards the beginning of 2020. Nowadays,
still do it.
yeah. Nowadays, they've fallen out of fashion a little bit. But you can still throw them in, you can still utilize them. So Armani does still have to, make sure he has that in the back of his mind and make sure he's on top of his scouting.
Yeah. Hellion harass coming in, but the Queen's in position here. So good job by Armani. And once again, Armani beyond the defense here. And that was kind of the problem. Now combined with the Banshee as well, but the sport is there. Oh, that Banshee's so low. Oh my god, there's no spores in the natural. But just one Queen hit.
Yeah, there is a Queen though. So the Banshee does go down. Meanwhile, Time, he was looking for an opportunity to dive in with the Hellions. He almost found one, but did back off.
Yeah, is also switching into bio, which seems to be standout at the moment. Marnie going for his lair as well as the Baneling Nest, 1-1 melee and Carapace. So again, pretty standard. Doesn't look like Marnie's being as greedy as he was last game. Because there is that the Hellions out around the map. He is only just taking his fourth now. Reaper gonna go down, but does see the lair, so he knows the time that the lair is being done at this moment, so he can have an idea of what timings of the lair tech could be coming at.
Yeah, and we do see Armani taking all 6 of his gases as well, so I imagine he's going to go Lingbane Muta once again, not opting to go for that Hydra style, and we'll see how Time is able to deal with that here so far. Again, this game is opened up very differently. Time, for the most part, he does have map control, he's trying to stem the tide, deal or hinder the spread of this creep with his Hellions.
Okay, sorry, I'm looking at Yaku in the chat trying to do the K sign. Doesn't really work, but it does. It's K. Wait, hold on. Just the maybe. Anyway.
Ooh, yeah, and there's a bit of an opportunity here. Oh, the wall is not a wall.
Yeah, the Lings managed to stream on in. The Marines not being too much. It's like rock. Piece of paper against some scissors. Actually, Time going in with his own push here. Main speed, 10 seconds away before he even wants to try and engage onto this. Maybe Armani just wants to give up on this position. Possibly, yeah, he is taking his fourth again up the top left. As more Lings starting to pick up 32 SCVs actually went down light.
I was about to say that when those things got into the natural and they got a surround on the Marines, that was it. Sure, Armani lost the base. It doesn't even matter. So much economic damage was done across the map.
And in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. Time, he made the decision to commit to the attack despite being, harassed at home, and so far it hasn't paid for himself. To be fair, this push is still quite strong. He has a decent amount of tanks. The problem is that he has to make something happen. He has to deal equalizing damage in some way.
Oh, hopefully he does, but once again, Armani gonna be coming in with the counterattacks. Baneling's joining in with this. It's 3 SCVs. He's like, how poor are you?
Yeah, pretty much. As everything is being invested into this big push from Time, it looks like he's on top of this hatchery. Could get another kill here.
Yeah, fourth is going down. Baneling's trying to stream on in. That's dead. He may have just found those Hellions and some reinforcements. But for now, looks like Time, he's firmly in the seat. He is keeping Armani on 3 bases. For now, the fourth again being taken at that location again. Does Time want to try and go for that again? We'll see, But for now, I feel like both players just want to get their economies going to the point where they want to get it to. And once again, we see the macro hatch coming in from Armani.
That we do, as time is rotating over from the left-hand side over to the right-hand side of the map, looking to apply pressure to that newest fourth base. But this time there's an army. This time there is bailing speed. Armani is here, even some mutas coming out.
But there's a tank, right? So not going to be getting too much damage done this time as the tank siege up onto this fourth once again. But the banelings going to be rolling on in. The fire exactly can't really do too much, especially when there's mutas. That's going to be it. Armani taking the 2-0 overtime.
GG, well played. Armani does 2-0 time in a quite dominant fashion. To be fair, game one was very back and forth, but there, like, it was all about that Ling run by. Like, so much damage was done.
Yeah, I mean, that Ling run by was pretty much just, if time had the proper countermeasures in place, having that wall off, but it could have possibly negated that damage, but instead he lost 35 workers and was just unable to get into that rhythm that he needed to be able to get to a place at least where he was last game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Just GG again. I mean, I do appreciate that time was being a little bit more aggressive there. Maybe if he had, that wall up at home, if he had a little bit of a better defense, then things would have, gone his way a little bit more, especially because he was killing bases, right? Like, he was dealing damage. Yeah.
Like, that's why I always leave, like, one tank on the high ground at the main, overlooking the natural and third. I mean, in case there is, like, a Ling run by, you can put up the supply depots and just be able to help defend, but instead, it was just Armani being able to get their time, unfortunately not having those defenses, and the time was just pretty much forced to all in with that Marine tank, and by then, Armani had those 10 mutas pop out, he had the banelings, he had enough to, defend that push, and it was just all over then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. GG, well played, Armani. Armani does move on to the semi-finals. Looks like to face his very first Protoss opponent, our first Protoss in Zest.